we'll be walking in to the high table. And this beautiful wife, as they come in, looking splendid. I should have worn something African, though. I mean, I don't know why I dress like this, eh? Candle, orgy, and his beautiful wife. Let's put hands together as they walk in majestically. Looking splendid. It's such a pleasure to have you here, sir and ma. Such a pleasure. And that's the power of giving honor to whom it is due. Forgive some of us, the Gen Zs and the millennials. We are trying as much as possible to Instagram and Twitter is making us forget so many things that our grandfathers have taught us. Thank you so much, His Eminence.
Hello. Tell my PA to bring my phone.
Once again on this beautiful 17th wet day in Lagos, Nigeria. How many of you saw the rain this morning? How many of you saw the rain? I did. How many of you did? Some people did not. I wonder what planet that you're all living in. The PRO, the International Association of World Peace Advocates. His Eminence, Dr. Emmanuel, and quickly to do the introduction of the guest of honor, and then we take it up from there. Let's put our hands together for him, please. No, he isn't coming up until I get a round of applause. Some of us are not clapping our hands. Fantastic. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to extend the existing protocol. First and foremost, this is the International Association of World Peace Advocates, the official hosting organization to mark today's day. Today, within the international system, it is called and known as International Day for the Eradication of Poverty. Yesterday was also marked as International Day for the Eradication of Hunger. Today is very, very important, and in the map of organization, October is very significant. Very significant. And once again, from October 1st, here in this country, we celebrated Nigerian Independence Day. October 7th, we also celebrated Nigerian membership, 64th year of Nigerian membership with the United Nations. And the event that took place at the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, FCT Abuja. Today, 17th, we are celebrating International Day for the Eradication of Poverty. And at the same time, on 24th of this month, our organization will be celebrating the United Nations Day, the UN Day proper, to mark the 79th anniversary of the existence of the United Nations as an organization. And that will be taking place in Douala, Cameroon. So all roads lead to Cameroon by next week, Tuesday to be precise. And the governor of the Littoral region, there in Cameroon, have made up his mind to attend the meeting. What am I trying to say? October is very, very significant. Just like what happened in September 5th, September 24th, September 28th, September 25th, we are also very significant to us as an international organization. I stand permit. My name is Sebastian Emmanuel. I'm the international spokesperson of the World Peace Advocates. Our job is to speak and to educate and to enlighten the public or whoever they wish to know more about us and our working relationship with the United Nations. However, once again, permit me at this point to let you know that the international director, worldwide organization, president of Professor Ambassador Chide Hirado, is also in town. He will be representing the World Peace President from the Kingdom of Denmark. So both the folks were here today to make this program a spicy one, to make it colorful. So any information, the time going to come, I will give the microphone to everybody here who wishes to ask us one or two questions, as the case may be, as a guide to IPA. This is the International Association of World Peace Advocates hosting this event today to mark the 2024 International Day for the Eradication of Poverty. Remember, the SDG Sustainable Development Goals talk more on SDG 1 and SDG 2 on issues concerning hunger and poverty, on SDG 3 and 5, and it goes to SDG 17. I am an SDG advocate expert, so it now will come. I will analyze the SDG and how it reflects on Nigerian realities. Once again, you're all welcome to this special gathering. Can you once again clap for yourself, please, wherever you are? Just give yourself a very round of applause. Can you hand and share? We have a place. If you know you are one of the recipients of today's award and you're seated there in the midst of people, can you just walk up? I don't want to call your names. Just walk up and have a seat here. If you know you're for today's award, you will receive award for today. Come on, let me see. Somebody I met at Ghana night in New York. May I have a seat here? Just make yourself comfortable. Ambassador Yeka. Make yourself comfortable. Today is your day. You may not have it twice again. And as long as the 17th of October is concerned, today is your day. Welcome to today's observance of the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty. Today is not a holiday. Today is marked globally as an observance day. Please be marking my words. We are very analytic. I'm going to dissect it. So that even if you are here, you go back home with some information. Most of you here will be given a status, not just an award, of an eminent peace ambassador award. Here with us, he's the international director, I'm the world's peace spokesman. We will be moving from one country to another to talk about peace, social justice, development all over the world. We are here today in Nigeria, next week Cameroon, Botswana, Egypt, like that, and it goes on and on. Today, we're observing the International Day of Eradication of Poverty. Before I proceed further, I wish to reintroduce our special guest on the high table. It's a traditional ruler with high respect. It's also His Royal Majesty. He has served in different categories here in this society. So he is standing as the real father of the day and at the same time as the recipient. Incidentally, he's here with the lovely wife. Permit me to reintroduce His Royal Majesty, Kano Oji. Can you give a round of applause? Your Majesty, sir. Your Oji, I don't know whether you spell it correctly. O-R or O-J? Is it correct? O-J-I is correct. O-J-I. Thank you very much. You know, if he had come to this place without the wife, I would have asked him a question before the. That's to let you know that there's no domestic violence in that family. Can we give them a round of applause? All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, our organization, we're gender sensitive, and that's why SDG 5 is very, very important for all that have to do with gender equality. So some of our friends here who will be given the link and opportunity to participate in United Nations programs on women, 2025 to be precise, 8th of March. After this event takes place, during the favor to meet me so that I'll give you the necessary form for you to pay. We need to promote our Nigerian women. I keep saying, Nigerian women are the best women in the world. If you're a woman, they're clever money. I'm coming out in the book 150 reasons why Nigerian women should take over with every power in the world. 150 reasons why women should take over power in the world. If you have my contact, please keep me posted. I will invite you. Sorry. My good friend said you will not have a copy. 150 reasons why women should take. You know, I tell you, when I hear people say it's men's world, I tell you to disqualify it. It's a very wrong expression. It is not men's world. Yeah, to a large extent, there is a misinterpretation of that concept. It is actually women's world, not men's world. When you want to get something done in the world, asked through the woman. If you want something postponed, asked through the men. I get my point. To more controls your destiny. Can you understand me now? You can understand why the 150 reasons is coming to reality.
We take our opening prayer, and this time around, I would like to invite to do that for us. Will be no other person than Pastor Bode Owoye. Let's please rise upon our feet as he comes to take us on a very short opening prayer.
Father, we are full of gratitude for the privilege of being before you in this place this morning. It's a day that's been set aside for acknowledgement of the need to emphasize the importance of peace and to also appreciate the fact that we cannot be talking about peace in the midst of poverty. And so these two issues are salient issues and important to engage. And we thank you for the grace given to every one of us as here to be part of this. You are the Prince of Peace. You are the one that can champion it. And so you're the one that can give the wisdom, the power, and the directions needed for this to be done effectively. So we ask you to champion this event and be glorified as everything that's to be done is done in honor of you and for the pleasure of people here gathered in the name of Jesus. Thank you for hearing us. In Jesus.
As we are singing the national anthem, please look at your neighbor. Sing, but look at your neighbor and find out if that neighbor of yours can or cannot sing the national anthem. Then probably we'll have to get a session where we have to teach people on how to sing the national anthem. So, over to you, sound.
It's the new version.
We are beheld thee, our own dear native land, though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that
Nigeria deserves a round of applause. Come on. We can now sit down. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, journalist. I'm a compared par excellence, and I'm totally privileged to be your host this morning at this particular event. A very particular, very important, very mindful, very demure, very what again? Very what again? They are not social media compliant here. Very cutesy. Okay, that sounds like it. Very what again? Very what? Very, very important observance. Poverty is something that's not. Some people here would have tasted poverty before, and they will tell you it's something that they don't want to go back to. They don't want to witness. They don't want even any other person to experience. Association of World Peace. Sound, you have to help me here. Sound, you have to help me here. Thank you so much. So I won't be doing this alone. I've got somebody who actually has a sense of humor, who will be putting laughter on our faces sometime. That will be working with me. Dr. Zu, let's have a conversation before we go to the next set of programs that we have on the agenda. Dr. actually is thinking about something. I don't know. Even though the woman says come and the man is not coming over here. So I asked myself a question, Dr. Zu. I said, I'm coming for this event to see how we can get to stop and curb poverty. How can I express it without saying it? And I said, okay, to end poverty, you have to be fruitful. To end poverty, you have to show profitability. And usually in the world of business, when you're looking at the graph, red is signifying what? Loss. Then green is signifying what? Profits. The bull and the bear. So I asked myself, okay, can I look for something green to put on that will signify prosperity? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And for those of you like me who are wearing green, please everybody put your hands together for us. Accidentally or not, at least we're showing that yes, we want profitability around town. Thank you so much once again for joining us here this particular morning. All right, so Dr. Zu.
What you just said now reminded me of that book, 150 Reasons Why Women Should Take Over Power, right? Mm-hmm. See? And I know that book was said.
I think so. I mean, he's already banned. He already had to. No, I mean, I think all the men who are the awardees, yes, he said he's going to have a copy. And trust me, he's going to buy probably 5 more copies.
You see, talking about this poverty thing, that's why a rich man that wants to get married prepares to be a poor man so that he can get a good wife. And you see, the poor ones pretend to be rich, trying to impress their girlfriend. So we are here to eradicate poverty so that that pretense won't be there, because it looks like 419, you know.
That is coming from a man. Then you should consider it, take it to the bank at some point, you know. Thank you so much once again. We're supposed to call a set of people to the high table. I'm going to need a bit of help with that. But while I'm looking towards getting the list of the people I'm going to call for the high table, I just want to go around and sample opinions on what your thoughts are about how far Nigeria has gone with eradicating poverty as it were. We know the government is trying as much as possible. Well, people say they are seeming to, you know, it's like you're doing something but it's not working. So we've seen the government several times put policies in place, sometimes implement them to ensure that Nigerians are richer and are better as time goes on. But somehow there are indications that it's not bearing fruit actually, and it's so important that we are trying as much as possible as individuals to do what we can within our communities, each and every one of us, to help reduce this. The word that came to my head is not a nice word, so I don't want to use it. To reduce poverty to the barest minimum. Do we promise that whatever it is that we learn here today, from the keynote speakers to any other person that will be giving a speech about today, do we promise that we're going to take it back home and work on it to make our communities, from our families to our communities, a better place? Do we promise that? Well, that doesn't sound convincing to me. Maybe we should just go home from here Do we promise to do that? I don't think you sound convincing. Do we promise to do that? Fantastic, thank you so much. So, I just want a man and I want a woman to stand up and just give us probably a 1 minute or 2 minutes speech. I mean, what your conviction is about the issue of poverty in Nigeria and how individuals can make their own community a better place, and so that everybody will put their hands together doing that same thing to make each community in the country a better place. So I need one person from this row and one person from the row to my left to talk to us. 1 minute or 2 minutes. Any volunteers? Okay, let's put our hands together. Well, the woman has volunteered first. Go ahead, ma'am.
I actually want a woman to speak first because men have been ruling. Nothing is happening.
Women have been ruling. The only thing is that you need to even know that. So we need one more person from this row. Just one more. Something I know how to do best. I just walk up to somebody, smile and say, "Sir, can you tell us something?" Ma, over to you.
Well, quickly, before I say something, in the Garden of Eden, if you remember the story, and if you're a Christian here, when Adam was in the garden, until Eve came, Adam was adamant. So if you're not going to see any man here today, I won't mind. Because Adam was adamant until Eve came and said, oh yeah, let us eat this beautiful fruit. So while you are sitting there, think, and that's just on a lighter note. Under all protocols duly observed, this morning is a beautiful day. I'm glad to be here. My name is Ambassador Lion Bukola Shwagabada, and my colleagues are here. We are the 500 Girls and Women Speak Ambassador for Lagos State. We are glad to be part of this meeting. Well, to the point that she has raised, poverty. Poverty stares us in the face. I'm sure everyone of here we're blessed, but I know we can do one thing in our community. Let's go back to our humanity. Let's go back to our humanity. A lot of us are losing touch with humanity. Because we are out there, we are losing touch. Let's not lose touch. And what can we do? That small bread that you would eat, look on your street, there's somebody that will need it. That small bread, that leftover, don't throw them away in the garbage. Send your mates to give somebody this. On your street, there's somebody that needs one thing or the other. If you can do that, bit by bit, I mean, we can actually eradicate poverty. Leaving the government aspect, of course, government will have to allocate resources as they have the resources. But beyond that, individually, in our church, in our small space, in our office spaces, where you're working, you're the boss, you're the big boss there. There's somebody down the line that needs a little help. That you know, please, just look at your humanity and do that little favor. When we do that, it goes around. It goes around, and we can touch life. And the world will be a better place for us to live. Thank you very much for listening.
Direction is more important than your speed. In Nigeria, a lot of people are running very fast, knowing not where they are going. Over to you, ma'am.
My name is Eredu Shola Iguna. I live in UK. Now, when you're talking about poverty, I can give you a little bit of topic about that. I will give you example of my own personal life. Like I said, I live in UK. People that live abroad, you can imagine how lonely we are. Sometimes you don't have anybody to talk to tell them your problem. So by then we put it on board that, okay, we will be looking for the elderly, even the young children, or even people on the street that have no food to eat, and they sleep on the street. So we do go to them, or they come to us. Some of them will say, please give me money, I need to go and buy bread, or buy me chicken, or something to drink. I have seen a young man, and very, very young, I think he's probably about 22 or 23, at the station. And he said, and I approached him, I knew he was so sad, and he put his hand on his head, and I approached him, I said, are you okay? And he said, I need food. Can you please buy me something to eat? So I said to him, I said, what would you like? Oh, I want chicken and chips. And I looked around, there was no chicken and cheese, but there's a Burger King. And I said, come with me. So I went there and I told him, pick whatever you want, and he did. And the payment was like about £10, which was nothing. I looked at him, and one thing he did that encouraged me, or that made me so proud to be involved with this young man, he now called his friends and he said, come and join me. This lady just bought me lunch. How many of us can do that? And that is what is called helping, poverty prevention. I also have another woman living next door to me. Her husband died. We've been neighbors for 20 years. But when her husband died, I looked at her. She doesn't have a job, and I have retired. So I approached her and I said, look, don't worry, Mary. I'm going to be giving you every month £20. And on top of that, I'll buy a cook, jollof rice, put pepper, put whatever she will eat in. How many of us can do that in our community? I think we all have to look back and think about yourself and what other people are going through, because you have gone through that, and then try to stretch your hand to help. Thank you very much.
It's actually instruct you, because that's how you get to make the world a better place, one person at a time. I promise you that the person whose life she has touched definitely will go on and pay you forward. And that's the most important thing. That is the most important thing. Alright, so let me do this, please. Can I have all the mics, please? Don't try to walk out to go and ease yourself or something, because you're the one I'm going to pick. So once I see you doing that, it means you're the person that will charge yourself. And I'm talking about the man, it's not a woman. Okay, you were looking at her. Thank you so much for volunteering yourself. Let's put our hands together for him. Let's clap and encourage him. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, good morning. Yeah. So I want to ask you, in a minute, help us understand how we can, in our communities, help to eradicate poverty. Thank you so much.
Everybody present here. I didn't volunteer. I was asked to do this, and I know I will do it well. So yeah, I know I will do it well. Right? That I know. And
Your name, sir?
My name is Madu Ifeanyi John. I live in Ikorodu. I'm a Christian. And I want to speak, when we talk about poverty, and to help alleviate poverty, I think we should understand poverty itself. And I so much believe that poverty is first of all a thing of the mind. It's first of all a thing of the mind. And for you to help to alleviate it, your mind must also be built to alleviate it. So I would say, I wouldn't want to take much time, but I would say that poverty is not strange to anybody, even if we're born in a palace. Somehow, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, materially, you may have been poor at one time or the other. Now, for me to be able to help alleviate this, I take a part of it. I might alleviate you, a poor man, spiritually, by being a spiritual person better than you are. And I can teach you how you can be better, a spiritual being. Physically, financially, I can do likewise. But primarily, you must have a mind to alleviate poverty or help alleviate poverty. Don't think there's nothing you can do. There's something you can do. Some people will buy you a house, some people will buy you food, some people will teach you the scriptures, some will teach you morals, some will teach you one thing or the other. But one thing you should know, one way or the other, you are poor. Therefore, I give it to this organization for their focus, and I also challenge us, don't ever think you can be a part of the people that will help alleviate poverty. Thank you very much.
For giving me the opportunity to be here today, especially Professor Jaibu. Thank you very much, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. So speaking of eradicating poverty in our society, how we can help individually. So one of the things that I've experienced is in my secondary school, we have a teacher, a literature teacher, okay. So he took us beyond classroom. In the classroom, he teaches us how to literature and everything. So beyond classroom, he taught us how to write poetry. Beyond classroom, he took us to events. That's one of the ways we can eradicate poverty in our society, by exposing people in rural areas, because I grew up in Ajegule. So he exposed us to a life beyond what is happening in the slum, okay? He did that, and today, Professor is doing it in another way, a higher way. He trained me to become a poet. Today, Professor is helping our society by giving that girl in the slum an opportunity to speak to great people like you all today. So we can help our children one step at a time, one girl at a time, one boy at a time. So most times it's not about giving money, sometimes it's about giving knowledge. Okay. Most times it's not about giving money, sometimes it's about giving knowledge. What is that thing that you have that you can extend to the next generation? What is that knowledge you have that you can extend to the next generation? So I say thank you very much for listening to me, because I'm about to start to read this. Thank you very much. So in 2008, the economic crash came against the world. It brought the world to our knees. And the career and dreams of millennials is still under construction till this day. 2020 came with another hit in our economy. It hit us so hard that to this day, the world is still staggering financially. So do not be confused about this gathering. This is an insurrection against scarcity. This is our attempt to be proactive against poverty. We refuse to be silent to the hunger that is taking charge of our children. We, as people, we will not watch as our children starve. When people starve, when investment in education is a mere mirage, when nations fail to set their priorities right, when justice, integrity, and discipline is missing on our plan to build a sane society, violence will come for our peace of mind. Just like Aristotle observed, poverty is the parent of revolution and crime. Poverty is the parent of revolution and crime. This is why we are advocating for justice to take a breath of fresh air in our society. This is why we are standing against ridiculous standard of living. The glory of the youth is in their strength. The glory of the nation is in the youth. The glory of the youth is in their strength. So the future of work is beckoning on us to equip our citizens with technical skills. In this day and time, having a vocation is a more effective prayer point against poverty. In this day and time, having a vocation is a more effective prayer point against poverty. Where there is value, money is bound to exist. Where there exists value, money is bound to exist. The more equipped citizens we have, the more grounds for peace we will find. The more equipped citizens we have, the more ground for peace we will find. No one should be untrained enough to be silenced out of the corridor of opportunities. We cannot throw deaf ears to the grief that our country is drowning in and not be haunted by the ghost of conflict. We cannot throw deaf ears to the grief that our country is drowning in and not be haunted by the ghost of violence. It costs less to be empathetic. It is quite expensive to be insensitive. It will cost us our peace. It will cost trust. It will cost our safety. It will cost us our common future if we leave our children uneducated and untrained. It will cost us our future if we leave our children uneducated and untrained. So we as human, we deserve to have basic human needs without struggling to feed. We are not interested in receiving a badge of honor for long suffering. We shouldn't have to choose between our human rights and our safety. In Nigeria, we shouldn't have to choose between our human rights and our safety. If soldiers are meant to protect us against external war, if the police force is to keep the communal peace, what does gun have to do with road safety? How can we keep the peace of a nation if some of our policies are drums of war? How can we keep the peace of a nation if some of our policies are drums of war? Our country is not a graveyard for excellence. We are excellent people, but our country shouldn't be treated as a graveyard for excellence. We are a people baptized with grit. Success is our natural habitat. We will not slit our wrists because the wind is howling. We are capable of becoming a phoenix in the presence of hardship. Our country should not be treated as a graveyard for excellence. For our common future, let us partner together to inspire development. For our common future, let us inspire development with our partnership. Thank you very much. Number one is number two, number three. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want?
Clean water and sanitation.
What do we want?
Clean water and sanitation.
What do we want? What do we want? What do we want?
Industry, innovation,
What do we want?
reduce inequality,
What do we want?
sustainable cities and communities,
What do we want?
responsible consumption,
What do we want?
climate action,
What do we want?
life below water,
What do we want?
Life on life.
And what do we want?
happiness for all.
Thank you very much, and God bless
You all want that. Me, I want something else.
Okay, and what is it?
When I was coming,
What
I
do you want?
misplaced my car keys. I had to use BRT. But luckily, I have someone here who's going to give me that keynote address. So I get my car keys, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's Dr. Bolaji with O, because there are other Bolaji. So his own is Dr. Bolaji O Akinyemi. Round of applause for this, sir. Thank you, sir.
And there's some other segment of the program. The man to whom I'm about to introduce is my boss. In fact, he brought me to this work. What you see me doing here today, sir, I move around many countries of the world. But I was introduced to him by a woman, Dr. Ambassador Chinra Novo, who happened to come from Port Harcourt, more or less as a freelancer. But the woman identified, you see how I'm concerned about the woman. The woman identified my calling, the woman identified me as an advocate to a man who has to shine. Guess what? In life, you don't need crowd. In life, you need the right person to come to your life. Once the right person comes, your prayer comes to your peace. Come here of peace. In Africa, my boss was here. We made a very brief introduction about Africa. The political assembly. I'm very proud to be a Nigerian. Whether I like it or not, whether corruption or not corruption, I am proud to be a Nigerian. The green passport holder of a very big country called Nigeria. In fact, if you are from Arochukwu here, can you stand up? From Arochukwu? Is there anyone from Arochukwu here? Please pardon me to have ordered this great men to stand up, but I want to say something just in the brief. Today, we are honoring a majesty whom God has positioned to come from Arochukwu, who should make Arochukwu to be announced in the international community. For the first time, sir, in the whole of Abia State, no palace has received our affiliation, and it's coming now to Arochukwu. After this event, all road will lead to Arochukwu Palace. I mean, his palace in Arochukwu for a big time celebration. Once again, can we give them a round of applause? You can see this volunteer online. All right? There is no way you specify and then fill the form from the beginning to the end without you mentioning mother tongue language. And the mother tongue language, you must mention an Igbo language in that database. Without that specification, the system will not proceed. Arochukwu, not only today, will be announced consistently on the United Nations International Systems database all over the world after this calculation that will be handed over to them. Once again, I have to talked about my good friend here, His Eminence Ambassador Actor for Ukraine, Orioyi, Kayode. Now, he's a chief. Now, let me say. And the very moment he brought Abba to Ogun State, we were able to have our country president, who is the person of His Royal Majesty the Ambassador Joseph Ogunbanu, and who was restored 7 days ago. Cut! Ladies and gentlemen, please, wherever you are, can we give a very good round of applause for his effort to promote peace here in this country? And that's the part. That's the part. Presently now, he is the Southwest Coordinator, Regional Coordinator of organization, for which Lagos State is part of them. He coordinates the entire South. Ambassador Ortega is here. The serialization 1 to 17 of the SDG does not indicate a order of relevance. It is the interconnectivity that makes them the real SDG global vision, meaning that you cannot do without one. SDG 1 is as important as SDG 17, SDG 17 is as important as SDG 8, and SDG 8 is as important as SDG 10. And SDG 10, I'll talk about reducing inequality. I'll talk about it very briefly. About poverty, and he gave references on the title. Poverty is multidimensional. Multidimensional. It's not single-sided. But in our next class, we'll talk about it. Can our guest speaker now make a very good presentation on that? Then we'll proceed. Thank you very much.
To appreciate Professor Yinka Ojibo, who facilitated my coming. I want to say thank you so much for extending the invitation to me to be part of this wonderful occasion. I will be a bit interactive in my presentation. The focus of this paper is poverty eradication through total education. And I need you to underline the word total education. Poverty, like you heard, is multidimensional. And if you have a multidimensional problem, there must be a multidimensional solution to a multidimensional problem. Now, it is sacrosanct, therefore, that we do not assume to know the meaning of keywords in our subject of discussion. How do I mean? We need to establish 3 realities in this discussion. One is, what is the problem? What is the problem? What are we here to discuss? Will somebody from the audience help me? What is the problem we want to discuss? Thank you so much. Poverty. Poverty, of course, is the problem. Now, what do we want to do to the problem? We want to eradicate the problem. How do we want to eradicate the problem? Or which tool do we want to use to eradicate the problem? Education. Thank you so much. Totally. Thank you. Education, totally. Now, let's take a look at the problem by giving meaning to each of the keywords. Poverty is defined as a state of being extremely poor or lack in basic needs of life. Basic needs of life, of course, are categorized those by the United Nations: water, food, clothing, and shelter. So those 4 items are the issues that we're going to be looking at, their provision vis-a-vis insights that we're going to draw from this presentation. To eradicate poverty simply means that's our mission. The basis of this conversation, and of course, to which the definition we have drawn must be applied. Now let's look at the tool we want to use, education. Education is simply defined as the process of receiving or giving systematic instruction. Systematic instruction. Note, process of receiving systematic instruction. That what is a system? Because if it's important for us to understand what a system is in dealing with what we have on our hand. A system is defined as a designed set of things working together as a part of a mechanism to achieve purpose for which it was designed. Look at the bicycle system. A bicycle is designed for mobility. But it's interesting to know that you have to keep the bicycle moving, or else what will happen? You fall. So the beauty of a system is to keep it in mobility. So we need a system of education that is progressive. We need a system of education that we keep moving and advancing. Now, this for me is the challenge of the African education system. It was designed by our colonial masters, basically to enhance stewardship via communication. The challenge of the colonial master when they came to Africa was the fact that how do we communicate to these people? How do we tell this man to sit down? How do we tell this man to stand up? So basically the challenge was communication. And the educational system we have today was designed to serve the purpose of our colonial master. That was their challenge. And you realize that after they have left, we really have not done any holistic assessment of the educational system that they left behind to us, or for us, to be able to see how well has this served our interest as a people. The departure of countries like China, India, Singapore, Malaysia, from the educational system designed for them by their colonial masters has led to their development and relevance on the global stage. This is what Africa needs to do. Sit down and redesign the system of education for where we are with where we want to be in view. We cannot compete with the rest of the world in their terms and conditions. Education as a system could be formal or informal. Take note of the emphasis. Education as a system could be formal or informal. Education becomes formal when it is given in a school or a university. But should education be limited to the school environment? Education is also defined as an enlightening experience. Experience, that is the strength of informal education. Enlightening experience. For example, Alhaji Aliko Dangote is a good businessman. It is an education to watch him. I don't know if you get my point. Yeah. Chief Michael Adeojo is a good workman. It is an education to watch him. Mr. Peter Obi is a good trader. It is an education to watch him. The trio are institutions built from indigenous apprenticeship system of education. The Almajiri system of education produced the Dan Tata and the Dangote business dynasty. The apprenticeship system must be adopted as an informal system of education if the challenge of out-of-school children is a threat to our existential reality. Our OOS, out of school, status is damning. 1 in 3 children are out of school. A staggering figure of 10.2 million at primary school level and 8.1 million at the junior secondary school level, giving us a total of 18.3 million children roaming the streets as I present this paper. Poverty, for which education must be declared as an emergency for us to eradicate it. According to multiple indicator cluster survey, MICS 2021, 3 in 4 children aged 7 to 14 cannot read with understanding or solve a simple mathematics problem. Now listen to me. The Igbo boy system has produced countless billionaires who grew in business, counting money and solving financial equations. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, the Northern Almajiri system of education that produced the grandfather of Alhaji Aliko Dangote was corrupted by politics of religion. It is no longer producing successful businessmen, but miscreants who are tools of political upheavals. The Southwest system was overwhelmed by Western education, with Batamiadu Kokoka. If you're a Yoruba man, you understand what I'm talking about. Way back in school, the most exciting moment is when we stand on the assembly ground and then the teacher pick up the song Batamiadu Kokoka. Batamiadu Kokoka. Meaning, if you go through your education and you graduate, your shoe will sound Kokoka. Because that is the way the shoes of the accountants and the shoe of the white men used to sound. So if you want your shoe to sound like, and that became the motivation for education in southwestern Nigeria. And everybody is going to school to come out and come looking for a white collar job that is no longer available. Now, let me read an extract of a true life story written by Dr. Promise Adiele. Dr. Promise Adiele is a lecturer at the Mountaintop University and a columnist I don't ever miss his writing. He wrote just yesterday on the title, My Journey to Kirikiri Prison, or on the platform of the Nichen.com. Now, I will just extract, I won't tell the whole of the story. From it, he said, in the dock was a man not more than 45 years, with overgrown hair, lean and hungry, desperate and dirty. He caught a pitiable sight, and I wonder what could have been his offense. A criminal maybe. Then they read the charge against him. The charge is that you, Mr. Musba Ilori, of number 22 Awonife Street, or Jota, Lagos, on the 10th day of August 2024, within the jurisdiction of this honorable court, stole a bunch of plantain. It was in the dock for stealing a bunch of plantain belonging to your boss, knowing fully well that the said plantain does not belong to you, thereby contravening section 285, subsection 1 of the Lagos State Criminal Code, guilty or not guilty. The trial judge, a delectable, beautiful lady of not more than 50 years, lowered her eyeglasses and looked intently at the accused, expecting a quick response. Then the accused, shivering and unstable, looked at his lawyer intently, but his lawyer did not seem convinced about what to say. Slowly, his lawyer stood up lacking the very agility attributable to all lawyers. When he spoke, it was a mixture of doubt, disappointment, and capitulation. My Lord, my client is guilty. Please temper justice with mercy. That was his timid, self-absorbing response. What kind of a lawyer is this? I wondered. I looked at my wristwatch. It was 12:40 p.m. I had a class to teach by 3 p.m. and salami was nowhere to be found. I was angry at the tepid response of the lawyer. I was provoked to stand up and speak on behalf of the accused. But I am not a lawyer. I waited to see what the judge would do. I waited patiently. The judge, with long painted nails and heavy powdered face, wore an expensive wristwatch and a designer spectacle, cleared her throat and spoke. Well, Mr. Musba, can you tell this honorable court why you stole a bunch of plantain belonging to your boss? Ma, my boss sent me to buy 3 bunches of plantain for his family. I bought a plantain, gave them 2, and gave my wife and children 1. I did it because the last time I bought a bunch of plantain for him, it spoiled. He gave them to me to throw away. So I thought he didn't really need it in his house. I have 3 children, and they have not eaten for 2 days. My last child fainted from hunger the previous night, and I was helpless. Well, does your boss not pay you a salary? Ask the judge. He pays me a salary, ma'am, but it is not enough. How much does he pay you? 40,000 naira. What? He pays you 40,000 naira in this hard time? Yes, ma'am. How long have you been working for him? 3 years, ma'am. So 40,000 naira is not enough for you? Why did you accept the job? Because there's nothing else to do, and if I don't accept it, someone else will. What car does your boss drive? I mean, what car do you drive for him? My boss has 7 cars. The latest is a brand new Toyota Land Cruiser that they bought for 120 million naira. What is your educational qualification? I have a bachelor's degree in education. I don't want to lose you at this point, because this is precisely where I'm coming to. What is your educational qualification? I have a bachelor's degree in education, child psychology, man. What? You are a graduate? Yes, ma'am. When did you graduate? Six years ago, ma'am. What work does your wife do? She had a provision store, but the government demolished the building and many others because they wanted to expand the road. So what has she been doing since? Nothing, ma'am. She has been trying to get a job to no avail. Is she educated? I mean, did she go to school? Yes, ma'am. She has a grade 2 teacher's certificate, and she can't find a job as a teacher. She found one where they paid her 30,000 naira. But after the increase in transport fare, following increase in petrol price, she could not continue, ma'am. Do your children go to school? No, ma'am. My first daughter, 10 years old, ox bread on the street to help the family. But people don't buy bread anymore, so she lost the job. The judge put down her head, visibly moved, but propelled by the call of duty, she spoke. I see. But that is not an excuse to steal a bunch of plantain that does not belong to you. I hereby sentence you to. It was at that point my lecturer, brother, and friend, Dr. Promise Adiele, couldn't take it again. He rose like an Igbo man that he was and put up his hand and spoke in defense of the accused. And the court got distracted, every attention to him, and they ordered him to be remanded in Kirikiri prison. Maybe I will tell you the story of my friend and what became of the situation, but I needed to share this with you so that you know that we need to revisit the issue of the component of education, content of education, to address the need of our nation today. A lot of investment has been wasted in education because we have sent people to go read things that are not relevant to the need of today's society. And so all that they have and they carry around in their hands are papers, certificates. There are people having 3, 4, 5 degrees and they still can't get a job. You know why? The education for them was not total. We gave them head education, sometimes without moral content. We give them head education, sometimes without educating their hands, which is the place where skills dwells. And so for us to think about total education, we're talking about educating the head, which is the seat of intellect, educating the mind, which is the heart, which is the place of morale, and educating the hands, which is where skills will be resident. So that if you can't get something to do with your head, you can find something to do with your heart. If you can't find something to do with your heart, you can get something done with your hands. And how many millions they personally do have? They brag about their newer and younger millionaire who saw the same things, competing with their former master, taking on, training and mentoring more competitors who will create more competition and meet their own millionaires over and over again. Boy is the age-long successful Igbo apprenticeship to wealth. If the Igbo boy system is so successful and has proven sustainable, why won't we recognize, adopt, and incorporate it into our former system of education? The nation is creating competition among ourselves where one should not exist. Whether you like it or not, God has endowed us with systems inherited from our forebears that all we need to do is take a look at them, sharpen them, adjust them to what the needs of today are. Let me close with this. We will to provide research resources on total education that can help eradicate poverty in Nigeria, working with the Ministry of Education and of course the Industrial Training Board as a training agency of the Ministry of Technical Education for Industrial Growth. What I'm saying in essence is that this is a
amazing. That deserves a better round of applause. Louder, louder, louder. Wow. It is a wow. It is a what?
Wow.
Is it a wow?
It is a wow thing for me. It's a wow thing for me because that is a Yoruba man talking about an Igbo man. Igbo system, yeah. You see?
It's actually amazing because there's several things. I mean, we all have our lessons and we take things. if you really take notes, I think that can help make Nigeria's peculiarity, that peculiar relationship that Nigeria has with poverty, the solution lies in some of the conversation he said. And some things jumped at me quickly from what he said. It's the issue of the formal and the informal education. Not forget those people who don't have the opportunity to take the formal conversation and have them involved in the informal conversation. Omoishe, right? That's fantastic because I get to see that a lot. Maybe that could explain the reason why it seems that the Southwest is taking over from the Southeast when it comes to issues like this. So it's actually very pivotal that we take that very importantly. One more thing that he mentioned, among others here, is the issue of mentorship. He mentioned somehow, and I paraphrase that, by just watching Dangote, you could be getting education from it, right? And that's where mentorship really comes in. He also mentioned something about the judiciary. It's a very huge lesson. I mean, anybody who thinks well would know, oh, this person is a first-time offender, aka, a first-time offender. This person did it out of the fact that he was poor, right? Not necessarily that it's something out of habit that he's doing. And he simply had a reason, so why not find a way? I know lawyers in the house might not totally agree with me, but it's fine, I'm just speaking for quite a long time. And the LCCI, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, did report several times that the reason why there is high unemployment rate in Nigeria is because there is a job skills mismatch. What you studied in school this day is requiring. Doctor, thank you so much once again for this keynote speech. Just put our hands together for him.
Doctor, it's so unfortunate that your friend went to Kirikiri. The same scenario happens with can you stand up, please, and talk about your people, please?
Thank you very much. Once again, standing on the existing protocols, we are the 500 United Nations IWAP affiliates, girls and women speak. We actually advocate on the issues of women and girls in Nigeria. We are all over Nigeria. We are the Lagos State chapter too. We want to support what you're doing. That's why we're here. And I want to say very, very big thank you for our speaker. You spoke so very well that my head was just rising there. And in comparing what you have said, I think the federal government is actually getting its facts right because I read that the federal government actually asked that all schools now, there are 15 vocational skills that everybody must actually have or learn before your graduation. I think that will actually...
We all know that the world is right now at the edge of it. Hello, DJ. Take it over, please.
There's trouble everywhere. From Africa to you hear the drums of war. Hunger and starvation, bad leadership, persecution, migration. Oh no, why mankind? I can't believe in peace. Love is all we need to coexist. Why mankind? I can't believe in peace. Love is all we need to coexist. What is wrong with your mind? I can't believe for peace and harmony. What is wrong with the human race? And me our heart is so full of pain. Let us come together with our hearts one and love and harmony. With each and everyone, bring the best upon your man and make a million things. Why mankind? Why can't we live in?
National Director of this organization. I am overwhelmed by the speeches, contributions of people who are present in this place, talking about the eradication of poverty, the number one problem of the world, especially the third world, and here in Nigeria. Recognizing my people, the Royal Majesty is present here. Royal Majesty Ambassador Sakudaisi. You're highly welcome. Yabiesi. Yabiesi, stop to let them greet you. Welcome, Yabiesi. Yabiesi is already a member of our association as eminent Christian pastor. Very jovial, very loving, very humble too, and ready to assist humanity in various capacities. You're welcome. And standing by my right side is His Royal Majesty Eberechukwu Kanochi. Incidentally, he's from my state. So, it's my Royal Majesty. Thank you. And all the chiefs and Royal Majesty that accompany him. God bless all of you. My dear friend, a philanthropist, a lover of peace, though very tall man, he's not a fighter. He's a very gentle man. He's a gentle prince, a gentle high chief. Kayode, you're highly welcome. I appreciate you always. Anywhere there is a duty, call him, he will be present. Thanking everybody present here today. Appreciating our facilitator for a job well done. Where is she? My kudos to her, okay? Now, thank you, Dr. Emmanuel Kweke. Ambassador Dr. Emmanuel Kweke, the spokesman, you know, when he handled the microphone, you know that he is really the spokesman. Yes. He knows how to talk. And he has words at any moment to say everything he wants to say. He does not choose words. Words comes naturally from his mouth. Let's give him a round of applause. It's a gift, well gifted. Like he told you, he's an expert in SDG. It's not only that he has had about 80, more than 80 online, close to 90 now, 80 online certificates about United Nations. So he has done a lot. Give him another round of applause, please. And anytime he handles microphone, I used to carry bell to ring because what to say is always flowing from his head. By speeches of many credible men and women, and also by the academic lecture, that's what I call it, delivered by our keynote speaker, I developed coldness. My feet started to be dragging. I feel chilled. I look at nation, our nation Nigeria. I look at our people. One thing came into my mind. I'm not going to speak on what you have said. I will move it to another nation. But one thing came into my mind. This question was asked me when I went to Aba to calm down the youth who say they want to separate from Nigeria. As I was talking to them, the last question they asked me is here in Europe. So I don't know whether you can answer that question. The last question they asked me is all I have said. I finished every vocabulary in my mind talking to them. They asked me this last question. Is here any hope? And that's the problem. Is there any hope? We have said all these things. We have analyzed them critically. The question is there any hope? natural resources. The nation is great in the eyes of people. We talk a lot, but we don't walk the talk. So this youth asked me, is there any hope? You know, I'm an archbishop. I was talking to them about using religion. It shall be well in Jesus' name, they say amen. So now I'm using religion to calm them down. But they later ask me, the question that troubled me, is there any hope? And now look at the nation, look at the economy. We are talking about eradication of poverty. I do not see poverty being totally eradicated. We are talking about how to reduce it. I'm concerned how to reduce it. Let us not talk of eradication. For this nation, impossible. Impossible. Let's say the truth, let's say the facts. You can't eradicate it. But let's see how to do what? Reduce it. It has been our problem. The nation is groaning. Youths are groaning. A lot is happening because of bad policies of the government. The way I feel, I don't know whether those in government are feeling it. As we are listening to this lecture, my stomach was turning me. What is the future of our incoming generation? We have seen how our educational system, which we think education is the answer to it, we have seen how it's structured. But we are talking and telling people now you can go into entrepreneurship. I don't know whether there's any University of Entrepreneurship in Nigeria. Yeah. Uniport. No, it's a department. Is it a university of its own? Oh, that's what I'm talking. Since our education was tailored to serve our colonial masters, can't we redesign it to suit us? That's what we are saying. That's the essence. Can we redesign the educational system to suit us so that we can grow and meet nations like Japan, China, and others? I used to say everywhere I go that, you had this, I said it in Ogun State. I said that they have classified us, Africa, as third world. The white men divided the world into three. Developed world, developing world, and the underdeveloped. They look at me and you and classify us as what? Underdeveloped. So we are the third world. God created three worlds, but divided the world into three and put me and you in the third world. And really we are in the third world. After 60 years, what have we done? When I was born, 64 years, okay. When I was born, the white men themselves left some legacies for us. We didn't follow them. We left things they brought. Instead of improving on them, we destroyed. We didn't improve on some of the good things they left for us. And then they are right to go. Even if there is a fourth world, they should classify us. Make us the fourth. Let us get out from the third world, go to the fourth world. It's a pity. So if you look at what is going on, what is happening, everybody, people have turned to beggars. You see, every day I receive 25 to 30 people begging for food, even begging for 2,000 naira. So I can even, if you say you don't have, I have a lot, they say, can you send 1,000 naira? It is as bad as that. A nation that people expect us, we have branded ourselves as giant of Africa. But we are not there. We are not there. It's painful. It's painful. We have been going about lecturing people. We are talking about peace. We are a peace organization. Let me come to Nigerian parlance language. Nigerian language. We say, a hungry man is what? I think every part of Nigeria say this. You don't provoke people and want peace. The only way to provoke them is to make them hungry. Once somebody is hungry, he gets angry. So what are we talking about? What is the peace all about? When people are hungry, one day they become violent. Poverty. And zero hunger. No poverty. There's zero hunger. We have talked about, say, federal government has done a lot about agriculture. I told you one day that my son, who was reading agriculture, University of Agriculture, Mutike, came back one day with excitement. Daddy, I said, he said, we are getting it. That was during the last administration. I said, what is that? Not so excited. He said, yes. The Minister of Agriculture has said that all students who are now studying agriculture, that government is going to give them money. As soon as they finish, they will start on their own. I said, Daddy, kudos, I am there. And look at this boy, I said, child. I knew, I said, boy, I pray that this will happen. But knowing our government will not happen. Go and ask the minister, former minister of agriculture, when he promised all the students all over Nigeria studying agriculture, how they will help them. But it was talk. There was no action. My boy came out and became frustrated. He's now serving. He's so angry with the government. He doesn't want to hear about the government. He's now establishing his own business so that he can survive. You see, sometimes, but this does not happen in the first world and the second world. But the third world still want to remain the third world. We are appealing to our government that peace we are going about preaching. The International Association of World Peace Advocates going about preaching in Nigeria and outside Nigeria that there will be no peace if people are hungry and poor. Having 2-3 degrees and you come out and roaming the street. And where is that? A senator passed with that, you look at it. That senator has only 1 degree. And then you, roaming on the street, they have 4. Is it not annoying? It's annoying. He can violate you. I say I'm ready to die. But thank God, I am very happy with this nation. In the sense that people are living as if the Southeasterners you talk about is the Southeasterners realize looking up to government will not help them to succeed. Let's face the fact. Southeasterners to behave as if there is no one government. They contribute for their town hall. Everything they do, they call their brother wherever they promote global peace. And we are from Nigeria. And in Nigeria we brand ourselves, even though spokesman said that he's proud to be a Nigerian. Yes, what can you do now? You were born here, you can't change it. Even if you're not proud, you're in Nigeria, if you're proud, even if I have other people's citizenship, my original citizenship is where? Nigeria. Is it not true? Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's not saying, oh, the country is so beautiful. No, there is nothing I can do again. We can give idea. I'm saying the truth. People surrounding the president sometimes, all the presidents of Nigeria seem to be psychopaths. They are telling the president nothing is. People are dying. People are dying. I'm telling the truth. They are using this one to kill us again. Do they want to reduce our population? Population is strength. Is everybody hearing me? Yes. Population is what? Strength. If you keep on using hunger to reduce our poverty, I mean our number, we can stand on any election in the United Nations. Because we have the population. Do you know Nigeria and Africa have the highest number of professors? Nigeria also has the highest number of medical, certified medical personnel. Let's come back and have retrospection. And then redesign ourselves to help our people come up. Because if hunger starts to kill us, hunger will kill more people than war. And that is why we are pleading with the government to help us. So we are striving to promote peace. In organization, this organization, International Association of World Peace Advocates, we don't only give people eminent peace ambassador, though it is called an award in Nigerian terminology. But the real thing is, it is called an appointment. It's an appointment. We are not merely giving you an award. We are appointing you into eminent peace what? Ambassador. So when is talking, we own the organization. Whatever you are doing, you don't hear it from me, you don't hear it again. Alright. So what we are saying is that this organization
sure that we fulfill our mandates by appointing people as eminent what? Peace ambassadors. Men and women that have peaceful disposition, who will join us and put our hands together, put their resources, their intellectual ability, their profession into it, so that we will succeed in promoting peace. Sir, if you are coming in and you're a lawyer, we will ask you in the form that profession. If you're a medical doctor, say through medical services. If you're a clergy, through religion. So you are coming with what you have to enable us promote what? Global peace. And that is why the men we are seeing, the traditional rulers here, are coming. They have the grassroots people. They are coming so that they themselves will help us meet the people at the grassroots. Let me say this. We have been accused, and I'm asking this question, why is it that you appoint eminent people and prominent people? You don't take the poor people. I say yes. Nobody listen to the poor man. Let me make it clear here. Because some of you, after I say, hey, all these men, you read their profile, they are all big people. You say, why? The reason is this. Nobody listen to what? Poor man. And if you are men that have people under you, see them, they have people under them. People they can influence. That's why we appoint them. If you cannot influence anybody, the appointment is useless. And that's why you see us taking chief executives. If I mention the names of great men in our association, you wonder. And because we select them, for them to speak to those under them, so that we can promote peace. One of the jobs we do is to talk. Another one, by talking, is lecturing them. Number two is helping people. We train, a lot of our members have trained people in various skills. Palliative, that you know, government started giving Nigerians palliative. I started wondering whether all of us are going to IDP. Yeah, is that what you call it? Where people can be given food for today and there is not tomorrow. They are not thinking of what will help us. They are only giving you a bag of rice. Sustain their families and grow. We are not only giving them. That's why most of the time we don't carry this plate of rice going and sharing. We help us to help the people. And once we help the people, there will be peace. We are not doing it for anybody. It's a voluntary work. Hello? Did you hear what I said? It's what? A voluntary work. We don't get offended. We are not doing it for you to thank us. You thank us, we say thank you too. You didn't thank us, we smile and grow. And that is our work. We serve humanity. We are going to follow us and we will lead you to a place where we make the world a peaceful place. And that's exactly what we are looking for. By God's grace, little I have said, we help you to understand the aims and the objective of this association. It's a big association, a great association. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. I believe at the end, you will be happy. And if you are not a member, you join us to promote global peace. Thank you and God bless you.
A little bit louder, a little bit louder. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So yes, we're beginning to climax. We're getting to that point where we do what we're supposed to do. It is you. So with the millennial and the Gen Z generations, some of us, before we go to the village, it will be one thing. Before we go to the village, we will once in, or maybe that cousin of yours is getting married. That's the only reason why you go to the village, you know, or once in a year, or once in 2 or 3 or 4 years, because you either travel to other parts of the world than to travel to your village. We should actually change. So there's something we're going to do. We're going to give honor to whom it is due by really this time around acknowledging our traditional rulers here. So what we're going to do is, when I mention the name and the title of the person, if it's from the eastern part of Nigeria, you know how to acknowledge the person. Our Igbo brothers and sisters, Igbo Bueno! Yes. Fantastic. You know what to say to acknowledge His Eminence. Then if it's from the southwest part of Nigeria, where are our Yorubas here? Are they here? Represent your people. Are you here? You know what to do. He is even representing them here. You know what to do to acknowledge you know, the leader from that particular part of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give honor to whom it is due. His Royal Majesty, okay, I was told His Eminence, Dr. Eberechukwu Kanu Orji. The next person on this list that we should give honor to is His Royal Majesty, Dr. Ambassador Joseph Okikiola Ikudaisi, I beg your pardon, Shomade. Hold on, please. All right. High Chief Ambassador, His Eminence Adefope. Hope I didn't murder his name, I beg you. They actually taught me how to pronounce the name. I repeated it 3 times. Now look at me. Don't worry, I'll get it. High Chief Ambassador, His Eminence Adefope. Dr. Ambassador Joseph Okikiola Ikudaisi Shomade.
Rounded off the first segment, but before we kickstart the second segment, which is going to be very, very informative. We have Father here, whose name has been mentioned, His Royal Majesty Dr. Eberechukwu Kanu Orji, to give us his own goodwill message, the capacity of the Royal Father of the day. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just before I go into my formal speech as the Royal Father of the Day, you will permit me to recognize the Arochukwu people that are here for one special reason. The Ezaro traditionally does not speak English. And if I must give a speech in English, I will need to take permission from them. Ndaino mabiko izototo aro mamanu. Okibo mamanu. Lagos State mamanu. Nigeria mamanu. Umwayo orihe. Iyavula agodi. Na wosim woku deka na edo n'okpokoro. Ntụtụ ndị anyị nọ na nwa abụghị ndị arụ, wanaghị anụ asụsụ anyị. Anyị na-eji okwu bekee gwa okwu. Isi mkpụrụ gawa. Nsụwa dị bekee gawa. Ekelere m enyi, ndewo nne. My people have given me permission to speak English. Please appreciate them for me. Appreciate them. My speech today is very short, and I've a prepared speech which I will read quickly, and then I will make some commentary. But just before I start, I'd like to observe the protocols that's been very well established. The Governor of Lagos State was supposed to be with us. I'd like to extend my courtesies to him. I'd like to extend my courtesies to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, to the distinguished guests that are here, our organizers who have been so gracious to have me and my wife come, our keynote speaker, that was excellent. We thank you very much. My brother and friend, High Chief, appreciate you. His Royal Majesty, we just became acquaintances now. I'm sure you will come to my palace and I will visit you soon. Esteemed guests, fellow advocates of peace, fellow award recipients, on the table over there, you are duly recognized and honored. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my speech as the Royal Father of the Day. This year's event, the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty, that's been put together by the International Association of World Peace Advocates, captures the essence of the big issue of our time, both in Nigeria, in Africa, and indeed the world at large. Poverty is a challenge that we must tackle, or it will tackle us. So we have to do something. From the United Nations Development Programme statistics, for 2024, their report says that the Global Multidimensional Poverty Index, NPI, shows that 1.1 billion of the over 6.3 billion people in the world live in multidimensional poverty. And half of those numbers are children. If you come to Africa, in 2024, around 429 million people in Africa are living in extreme poverty. And that is measuring with the poverty threshold of $2.15 per day. The World Bank, when you're going to come to Nigeria, the World Bank says that for Nigeria, despite having the largest population in Africa, Nigeria offers limited opportunity to most of its citizens. And the poverty rate is estimated to have reached 38.9 as at the end of 2023, with an estimated 87 million Nigerians living below poverty line. And that is the world's second largest poor people by population, second only to India. So it is with a deep sense of responsibility for me personally and humility that I render this Royal Father's good message. With all that information, it shows that the time is now and the time is right, both for those who will be receiving the award today to carry on with the ethos that has been so very well established by our president, that in whatever walk of life we find ourselves, we must attend to the world's poor. Starting from those who are within our immediate areas of influence, extending it to those who are beyond our immediate area of influence. In our lifetimes, we must do everything within our capacity and ability to ensure that those who are experiencing extreme poverty and those who are multi-dimensionally poor, and when they say that, they mean that the people are poor in many fronts. They are poor because they lack money. They are poor because they lack education. They are poor because they lack access to opportunity. They are poor because they lack basic sanitation. They are poor because they are energy poor. They lack electricity, and so on and so forth. That is what they mean by multidimensional poverty. We must do everything in our power as individuals and as groups to make sure that we lift our people out of poverty. It's on record that a nation like China, in a space of 20 years, was able to lift over 400 million people out of poverty. If you consider the Nigerian population is only 200 million, then it is not an impossible task to lift Nigerians 200 million people out of poverty and particularly our 89 million multidimensionally poor people out of poverty. The formula to do that is very simple. Everyone should commit that their immediate family members who are multidimensionally poor should be their personal responsibility. It's not the responsibility of government, it is your responsibility. An Igbo proverb says that if you are the only one standing in your family, or if you are the only rich person in your family, you are actually poor, because your wealth is reflected in your kinsmen. So if people come and you are the only one, then that means you are really poor. You are just covering the gap of your poverty with your dress. So you are hearing it from the royal father today that your personal responsibility after this beautiful occasion is to take responsibility for personal responsibility for all the multidimensionally poor people in your family. If you do that, and we all do that, and spread that message that we should take care of our family members that are multidimensionally poor, I want to believe that in no time, the entire nation will be lifted out of poverty. I'm sure you will agree. In conclusion, I'm deeply grateful for the award and the recognition, and I commit and pledge to keep to the ethos of this organization and to spread the message of peace wherever I find myself. Finally, I want to encourage us to support organizations like this. The award recipients, please don't take their award, and when they have an event and they call you, you are not there. Please, when you take the award and they have an event, they call you, it is imperative that you show up. If you are not able to show up for whatever reason, please do find a way to lend your support. It's extremely important that our nation is at peace. The traditional rulers, my brothers here, we have a big responsibility on our shoulders. And that is why recently I personally committed to support the Southern Nigerian Traditional Rulers Council, because that organization provides the proverbial handshake across the Niger for all traditional rulers to come together for peace and to douse and reduce the tribal and ethnic tensions that seems to have risen up in recent time in our nation. And what we are saying is that we as traditional rulers have an example to show. If the people see that the traditional rulers are not fighting for supremacy among themselves, that they are in unity, united, and speaking with one voice, I think a lot of our people will follow. And when we find people who are, promoting this ethnic divide and things, I think it's our responsibility to speak boldly and forwardly and say that that is not the way of peace. I conclude by saying thank you, everyone. Welcome and have a pleasant day.
Your Majesty, you just provoked me now. Indigenous people say they set aside by the UN to promote indigenous rights, which traditional institutions play a major role. And our organization wants to showcase you here in New York as one of the guest speakers. His speech has just provoked me to think deep about UN Indigenous Group, UN Indigenous Foundation, UN Indigenous People. And Professor, let him represent us. National institution. Somebody please. Here now. Today, we mark additional title to your name. Very important. How to focus you people now. Prof, I've been talking, whatever I've been talking to the people, but now I want to talk. Once you receive this award and your name goes with ambassador attached to it, you are expected to be signing with green biro, not with black biro, not with blue biro any longer. after today. Once you put ambassador in a name, either before or after, make sure you sign any of your documents with green with green, not black, not blue. But if you sign your checkbook with a green biro to some bank, it may be rejected. They'll tell you it is our auditor's pen, it is this and that. Please, once such thing happens, contact us. We will communicate the bank and let them know whom you are for them to start accepting your checkbook with the green signature. Because after today, whether they will like it or not, the level no clap for them. Very important. To those that may be using our plate number, if you're in Lagos State and you're in Abuja, don't beat traffic. If you beat traffic before we reach where you're going, they will call your phone. You'll beat the traffic. To tell how sensitive that plate number is. We are migrating from the FUNG to FG. Prof. Am I correct, sir? Very important. Don't beat traffic. That plate number is auto-sensitive, particularly when you are in a traffic position. We have started stamping our international passport. Do you have anyone there? Philip? Do you have any international passport with you? Anybody here? No. Onyeka? Because when your international passport is inside any embassy, if you're no longer there again, it is that document that will speak in the embassy. I know what I'm talking. I'm speaking out of experience from our meetings with different Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Very, very important. That is it. Sir, I know you love good things very well. You must speak to them.
Thank you very much.
Your children from today supposed to you give us their picture, all right, and their international passport. From the date of their birth till 17 years, they are automatic member of the organization. We want to know how you're training them. We will ask you question intermittently in between the years. Who is Ada? Who is Okun? Who is Adenji? We will ask you that question. Second and most important, in case you want to travel outside, the embassy will ask you where are their supporting documents. You're a father. And they said your eminent is embattled. What happened to your children? You have a document to show at the embassy. As my father is, so the children are. It's important. Then, somebody have not provoked me again after Royal Majesty have provoked me. If you are a married man and you are here to come and take our watch, we will not allow you. You are expected to come with your wife to take this award. And if you are here and you want to collect an award, you do come with your wife. I go borrow one temporary wife here and I will give you after which I will turn back. Somebody have volunteered though. Somebody have volunteered to be a temporary wife. Maybe the clap for me, clap for me. Clap for me. I don't know what I didn't tell you. As you receive the certificate appointment today, Prof have already defined it. It is not an award. What we are giving here today is an appointment. Appointment goes with responsibility. That is why you see the Royal Majesty emphasizing that in case you are called at any given point in time, make sure you put up an appearance. It's a responsibility. You have been appointed into an international league of people who are concerned to ensure that the United Nations will not fall under the League of Nations. Why is it an appointment? Because it is a... And every peace ambassador, we are expected to be attending United Nations event anywhere at all in the world to talk about sustainable development. That is a major focus. Emphasize on the SDG. What can we do to make the world a better place, better than how we have it? And remember, from January to December, the United Nations gives us opportunity to invite our people. And let me make this very clear. The UN cannot invite an individual. The United Nations invites
an organization whose individuals are already a member of the UN system. So if you get your ID card today, bro, ID card may not be issued. Don't be angry. Before giving you an ID card, you must know who you are direct again on their so-called fields. But if Prof, out of his magnanimity, we said, let us issue.
My Royal Majesty is here.
Royal Majesty.
You do it today.
Majesty, we should do it today. Okay, no problem.
We give it today.
We should do it today.
Yes.
Okay, can we say back for Majesty for intervening? Now let me tell you one thing about our ID card. There are so many testimonies associated with international ID cards. And that ID card is a security pass. By next year, we want to digitize it to show you that anywhere you are in this world, you will be able to track you, no matter where you are. During the death of this woman, Queen Elizabeth, am I correct? Am I correct?
I guess so.
Yeah. When the lady died, one of our members from the Yoruba land here traveled. And by the time he traveled, my phone is ringing, please switch it off. By the time he traveled, he forgot the invitation card given to him. And he walked out to where presidents were kept. He walked, in fact, one of the ushers stopped him. Stop. No, this is for His Excellency. He said, what? He now occurred to him that he has forgot his invitation card to express who he is. Guess what? By the time he now brought out his ID card and showed to them, see who I am, this ID card made him to sit with the kings, the queens, and the president during the burial of Queen Elizabeth. Immediately, he called my phone and said, Omenma, now I know where I belong. I said, Oga, it is not only where you know where you belong. Send me 10% offering. It separates you from another person called Nigeria. You may be traveling, we have a lot of testimonies. You're on the queue, you can walk down to any person, very respectfully. And then you present the ID card. That's your ID card. Today, sir, you are receiving your certificate, gold medal, ID card as authorized by the Majesty here, and then any other items. That is the first stage. The second stage, man, you can now ask us to come to your school to hoist the international flag. It's a separate ceremony, but it is usually done at your own discretion, at your own given convenient time. You can come to your school, come to your church, come to your private house, come to your hotel, come to any place of your choice to hoist the flag. But the environment will define and determine the number of flags. So if it's a school, it's minimum of 7 flags. If it's a palace, 6 to 7 flags. Personal house, 3 flags. A university with over 1,000 persons is nothing less than 2 flags. The essence of the raising the flag ceremony is to let the immediate community know that an international person of their capacity is operating in that environment. On that day of doing it, please, you must, it's a must, invite the commissioner of police, the women leader, the youth leader, members of the community. They must be present. And to some extent, you are also expected to do some humanitarian work to truly justify that indeed you are an eminent peace ambassador. So what do? You gather women with widows. You gather youth. You must pay school fees to people. To me as a family, I don't have a family. I have a household. If you come to my house, everybody is equal. I get on point. That is the second stage of what we are doing. But you have to do that on your own. I hereby announce that our candidacy will be doing his birthday on the 13th of November. Prof, 13th and 7th and 9th, I'll be in Egypt when we program. You will see how I come back. I need to come back quick and put that event. I need to cancel 1 or 2 days. All road leads to where? Before. We're going to hoist the flag. Come there and see how we're going to explain to you the Nigerian flag,
The international flag, how to hoist it, how to handle it. Do you know that the flag never sleeps? It is a very long thing for the flag to be in the house from morning to morning, from morning again to evening. Flag never sleeps. Okay, what am I saying? From 6 to 6, your flag will be hoisted. On that day, we teach people who are there on how to handle it. What is called the plate number? Ambassador, from my record, it's the only person that have a plate number. You are the faith. Your name was Jesus Christ. May God bless you. You are the only woman on this table. Are you aware? You are the only woman on this table. I've received the detail of your plate number. I've received the detail of your plate number. So if you receive the plate number, receive and do what you call the flag hoist, receive all their accessories here today, you are good to go to any country of your choice and express who you are with boldness and audacity that you are not indeed his or her eminence or his excellence, dash, 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 and so on, so on, so on, so on, so on. Remember, the ID card we give to you must correspond with the certificate. Those numbers must be made as a reference point to all your documents. And in fact, after today, you're expected to even change your headed paper and reflect your code number on there, and also have a private ID card, and then complementary business card attached to them. Those variables, those numbers, you really know who you are, because those documents speak on your absence. Ladies and gentlemen, I have come to the last part of the presentation. Investiture of His Royal Majesty, no matter the grammar, you gold medal. What is on his neck is called the gold medal. Eminent peace ambassadors receive only one gold medal. If you are a parent, if you are Hold on. This microphone.
By the power conferred on me as International Director of the International Association of World Peace Advocates, I, His Excellency Professor Chide Irodo, present this prestigious certificate to His Royal Majesty, Eberechukwu Eni Kanu Oji, as Eminent Peace Ambassador and Global Diplomats, to the glory of God and to the blessings of humanity. Congratulations.
Can we give a round of applause? I can see the photographers that is prepared, they are all blocking the view. The people are not seeing what is happening here.
By the hands of His Excellency, the World Peace President, Ambassador Pastor, to be a part and parcel of this organization in promoting global peace. So whatever we do, the Arochukwu Kingdom is part and parcel of it in bringing peace to the universe. Congratulations to the glory of God and to the blessings of humanity. I present this certificate to His Royal Majesty, the Great Chukwu Kanu Oji.
Check your calendar. We are supposed to be in your palace and raise 7 flags to mark these statics as an eminent peace ambassador, and to also give signal to a immediate community, particularly the Arochukwu Kingdom, how affiliated they are with the international. Binti Uda, is he here? Absent. Mr. Willie, Workman, ugly workman. Dr. Bolaji O Akiyemi, are you here? Dr. Mr. Chukwudi Stephen Igwe, to speak, not my small phone job. Dr. Alhaji Muhammad Issa Umaru. Issa Umaru is not here.
That's a good one. I'm proud of you.
Now let me explain something. You have long camera. Let me explain. Omenma. Please, this name. If you know the meaning of this name, where is your wife? No, the wife was here. Prof, hold this thing. This name has provoked me for the third time again. For the third time, somebody bear the name Omenma. To those who don't understand Igbo, Omenma means person when they do good thing. Hey, can we clap up Omenma? Clap up Omenma. In fact, since he located you, the spirit of Omenma increased.
Yes.
Who else? This one? Yeah. Omenma is receiving his eminent peace ambassador. Now, there are cases of utility. If you're on a community project, don't put on a muffler and your gold medal. But if you're attending a conference outside Nigeria, you can put only the gold medal. Don't put the muffler. Somebody they embarrassed me in Kenya. They appeared in the conference with everything. I said, okay, wait till the push from Nigeria go Kenya. Everything you have for neck. I said, no. There are cases of utility where you are expected to use them. During COVID-19, you can put everything because you are not an essential service provider. With the ID card, there was no police harassment among all our eminent peace ambassadors. Please, if you receive the award, don't go, because I'm going to say the last thing concerning the award.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present to Chief Dr. Clement Omenma as an eminent peace ambassador to the glory of God and to the blessings of humanity. Congratulations.
Next. Onyeka.
By also presenting together with the international ID card.
I said to the pastor. Where's the pastor? The man of God. Which church, sir? Okay. From our record, Your Majesty, you are going to start in between them and have the last picture. We are about to round off now. From our record, the Redeemed Christian Church of God have the highest number of eminent peace ambassadors in our database. If you are a Redeemer here, can you stand up for the You are the man of God. Pastor Bode Omoye. You are the first pastor to receive this award here today. No, even the Royal Majesty. Nobody here. Nobody without knowledge. Please appear confident in the Bible from the book of Genesis chapter 15 verse 15 and Revelation chapter 16 verse 14. Today I'm not in the pastor. She is a pastor. People now we're talking about peace. No, this is still standard. We will tell you about it. Next, please. Next. Ladies and gentlemen, please come give us.
As a global diplomat, to the glory of God and to the blessings of humanity. Congratulations.
Give me a round of applause. Please don't go. Our Philip, Mr. Philip. We have already started seeing her first generation, and she will also see her second generation. She will see her fourth generation. She will even see her sixth generation. If you say amen, can you say a big amen? I'm not a prophet. I'm not a prophet. I'm not a prophet. Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, by the power conferred on me as international
This woman
director,
came with the entire kingdom.
I hereby present to Mrs. Faith
Ambassador, Omeka, don't go.
Adeni as eminent peace ambassador.
Yes.
And also the presentation of her international ID card as a global diplomat to the glory of God and to the blessings of humanity. Congratulations.
Please, can we give a very good round of applause to the only woman receiving this award here today? The only woman on the high table. And she came here with the entire family. A woman have started seeing her first, second, and third. A blessed woman. A woman with priceless potential. A woman have come an inch for herself. By the husband. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Willie Workman Oga. With two Nigerian eminent traditional rulers that have influenced their community with good virtues. Let's go back. What have to congratulate Ambassador Onyeka for this royal assembly of great men here in Nigeria. Next, Willie Workman. Willie Workman here with Torach. Workman is here with you. Yes. Oh, he's my who dance. Okay, the piece of Jesus. Please, we are going to use his talent. World Music Day is coming. The World Jazz Day, we celebrated it in Brazil. But World Music Day will be done in Nigeria. I have to track you so that you will assemble all pieces songs. Very important. Thank you.
I hereby present this
wife as an eminent peace ambassador. Even if the godmother don't really enter the head, it must enter today. This godmother must enter the head. It must enter. It has entered. Finally, it has entered. Can we clap for her? There are different ways you exercise your function as an eminent peace ambassador. Number one, that is for the public. Now, I haven't given you an ID card.
Back a little bit.
Please, if you have an ID card. No, the woman is cannot.
Can we go back a little bit, please?
So this is for them. No. This is yes, very important. Check the ID card. Check the ID card. If the number corresponds with what you have, it's very important. If you don't have it, please return back the items. Because if you have, we have 4 plate numbers. 4. We have the UN visa. We have the FG. We have the ambassador. We have the corps diplomats. Corps diplomats. These are the 4 plate numbers we do give to our people.
Let's take the picture and you can educate them later, please.
Snap them. We have 4 plate numbers. I repeat, we have the UNV, we have the FG, we have the ambassador, we have the corps diplomats. The corps diplomat is very expensive, and is given to a very few selected members of the organization. And the UNV and the others are for everybody. There's a paper given to you. That paper is your first international donation to promote peace and failure. Please, they gave you a card. Transfer anything you have with our advice, if it will be reasonable. So that will mark your milestone in the organization. And you are expected to transfer from 9 to 12 o'clock in the night. Once it's 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, don't send it, no matter the amount, I don't need it. If I say 10 million, don't send it to the account. But remember, that thing which you sign, I will scan it, is part of my report. We will call it COE, commitment on engagement.
Today is a day of joy, a day the Lord has made that we should rejoice and be glad in it.
My name is Ambassador Dr. C.C. Iwebuna, Omenma. What is happening here today is that today we are honored with the appointment of United Nations eminent peace ambassador. You know, and that's why everybody is here. And that's why you see the large crowd. Especially what is going on here. Yes.
So, how do you feel, being appointed United Nations Peace Ambassador?
I feel honored. It's a thing of joy. I am overwhelmed with joy. It's not easy for one to be singled out in a populous society like ours, and you are called for duty and at this level. It's not an easy feat to achieve. It's not a little thing. So I feel so joyful. I am overwhelmed with joy, and I give God all the glory.
All right. So, the award is an international award.
Exactly.
So, how do you intend to further the cause of this very project?
Like the theme of this award or the program says, World Day of Eradication of Peace, eradication of poverty. Sorry. You see, we have a lot of job to do. It's a call to duty for the eradication of poverty, and our society is plagued with multi-dimensional poverty, as has been said time again and again, even in the hall there. If you listen to the lecture, it emphasized too much on things to do to take the nation out from the wood. And for me, the job is enormous, but we must start somewhere. Yes, educating people, changing the mindset of the people to align with development, with sustainable development, for people to migrate from their usual wicked mindset to a new refined mindset set on development, peace and progress. And that's why, that's where we will have a good society.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
For me, how will you extend the hand of fellowship to the community after hearing today's news?
Anybody that knows me knows I'm a community man. I'm on the ground. I am not, a high-flying township, American, this or that. No. I don't believe in flying overseas. I don't believe in living overseas. I'm a grassroots Ogidi man in Anambra State. So, do you understand? I love my community and I do a lot of things to the grassroots. Do not forget that somebody developed UK, somebody developed America, somebody developed Canada. So it could be me. And why not me? If those people can do it and transform their societies and their place and their countries, why shouldn't I? So the call to do this job is the call to change the whole narrative of our system. It's the call to transform, to migrate from the old order to the new order, where everyone is developed. Have a developed mindset, be developed educationally, be developed in your business, be developed in any capacity that you can. And that is why why we are called. Thank you very much.
And your name, sir?
My name is Ambassador Dr. C.C. Omenma Ogidi.